What is up, guys? My name is Dante. We are back with another episode. But before I even get into that, let me go ahead and play the intro music. What is up, explorers? Before this episode begins, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check the link in the description below. Take you directly to our Patreon if you would like to support. You could support us for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. That's it. So if you'd like to support, make sure you go ahead, go to the Patreon link in the description below, and enjoy the episode. Peace.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are 𝓟There, and today we got another special. Do I keep starting? Anyways, we got another special episode for you guys today. Just recently, I passed the 2-year anniversary of the podcast. Do I have the right sound effect? Hey! See, I'm learning. I hit it first try. We hit the 2-year anniversary of the podcast, which has been, amazing. What's been great about it is that I didn't even realize that, that it was coming up. I've been so deeply focused and entrenched in the podcasting game that I didn't even notice that it's been 2 years, which has been good. That's when you know you've been in the wormhole. We're going to be doing a year 2 review of, the things I did within the past year and what I'm looking forward to be doing in the upcoming year. Let's, just hop right into it. One thing that I also want to start doing, not start doing, but I want to do for this episode is really just set the vibe right. If you guys know who Hindsight is, HINDZIGHT, probably one of my biggest inspirations for the general aesthetic or feel of how I want the podcast to be. He's a great creator. He's very creative, but also his look is very unique, right? And I really enjoy that kind of feel that his. I'm looking at this box in the garbage. It says UFC. But his look is very unique and it's very calming and it's very inviting. So I hope to kind of embody more of that sort of spirit when it comes to me doing this podcast. And one of the things that he had going in his podcast was just the vibes were just set so nice, right? So he had I'm a piano going in the background. He's just talking real soft, real low. But so I'm gonna get some lo-fi going, just some background music, and we're gonna go over year 2. Let's go ahead. Gotta turn it down a bit. That's too much of a vibe. All right. Another thing that I got with me, in terms of vibe, we got the tea. Shout outs to Vaughn for, putting me on. Go back and check the Vaughn episode. We had a great episode. The vibes were set nice. We both had some tea we were sipping, and it was just a nice warm setting. Next thing I got is I got some incense that I'm going to burn. But this one is special in particular because this one is go.𝓅 evil. So I'm going to go ahead and light that, and we will hop right into the review. So one thing I always like to do with my incense before I even start doing anything is just bless the area, you know, with the incense. You bless your equipment. Hopefully I don't drop any ashes. Oh, I dropped one on me. You bless your equipment, all right? Just put that good energy, the evil go away. You want to bless the background, your setting. All right. How does it look? Ooh, looks like a vibe, yeah? All right, year 2 in review. Let's get started. Let's go back. A look back to the year we've had. What are some highlights? What are some highlights of the year? I would say one of the first main highlights is, you know, being able to shoot over here at the 𝁟There Studios. You know, once again, thank you to 𝁟There for, you know, allowing me to be my creative self and to be able to express my artistic spirit in the form of this podcast in this nice space. So that's really been one of the biggest highlights for me this year, is just having a nice space to create and to be able to have guests and stuff like that. The earlier episodes of the podcast, I would basically just invite people to my place of residence. And I realized that, you know, depending on who I had on, it would be kind of sketch. Like, I'm like, I don't want to give these people my address and da-da-da-da-da. So it's kind of sketch. But now, you know, we're here. We at 𝁟There Studios. We got this nice open space. I can be as loud as I want and as quiet as I want. And also, like, you know, being here, there's a lot of other creatives, right? So there's a lot of other people that are doing creative things. They're painting, they're tagging walls, they're doing photography. Shout out Svon. You know, they might be doing photography, whatever it may be. And, you know, kind of just being in that environment. And I talk about it almost every week when I talk about what I'm grateful for, but I'm just grateful to be in that kind of environment. It inspires you to create more, to up your level, to, you know, to just do more, to create more, to be art more often. So yeah, I would say that's been one of the highlights for the year. What's another one? Another highlight I would say is we reached 50 episodes this year. That's also been a pretty big highlight. Once again, like I was saying off the top of the episode, I didn't realize I had even shot 50 episodes until after I recorded the 50th one. If you haven't already, go back out and check the episode with James Favron, episode number 50. Yeah, so, you know, I got into this nice flow once I was able to use the studio. I started booking guests in advance and having them come on the podcast and me be here. Then we'd have a conversation. And then before I knew it, I was at episode 50. And I was like, whew, you know, time really flies. What other highlights have I had? I did a podcast live on the spot, which I haven't dropped yet because I haven't edited it yet. But I'll go back and edit it soon. What I mean by podcast on the spot, it was over the summer, I was heavily influenced by Sneeko before he got himself canceled. And one of the things he was doing was, you know, the 1 minute podcast where he would just, you know, be in like the subway or whatever. He would set up a simple table and just ask people questions. So this summer, I kind of took inspiration from that and added my own little spice over top of it. And basically, I was asking people a question. Is life manifestation or coincidence? Is life coincidence or manifestation? That's the question I was asking. But either way, I had people come up and express their opinions and talk about it. And yeah, I would say that was a pretty good highlight. I would like to actually do more of those eventually. All right, so those are some of the highlights. Maybe I should write these down. What did I say? Oh, Dope Chief Studio. Oops. Episode 50. As like a milestone. Live pod at 905 Fest. Shout out K Triggs, who was also on the podcast. So yeah, those were some of the highlights of the year. Any particular guests or anything like that? Not really, but that's something to look forward to. I mean, I've had some really great guests over the year, and I do hope to have more. So maybe that's another highlight. I had a lot more guests this year. A lot more guests in studio. And I also did, I did an episode on IG Live as well. I would say that's a highlight. That was with, actually, okay, so that was another highlight. One of the guests, Ruth Alexandra, an up-and-coming classical pianist, over 30,000 followers on Instagram. So we collabed and did an episode. We did one over IG Live because we were supposed to meet in person, but then we got hit by that snowstorm. So we did one on IG Live. And it worked out pretty good. We had some people join and ask questions, which reminds me, let me go ahead and put that we're live on Instagram. Doop. You know, another thing that I'm realizing is that there's no like desktop audio that's being sent. So you guys are hearing the music from the Rodecaster, but you're not hearing it on the stream. Whatever. I don't want it to hear in the stream anyways, because then there'd be copyright. Do. All right, so we are currently live on YouTube doing a second year review of the podcast. Make sure you guys tune in. If you guys have any questions, I'll do a Q&A. So yeah, come join in. Link is posted right here, which I don't even have. I'm doing this live, guys. We're doing this live. Let's get the link for these people. Let's get the link. Let's get the link. Let's get the link, brother. Let's get the link, brother. All right, hold on. Let me just do it this way. How do I do this? We go to YouTube. Here we go. This is how we do it. And then we go to share. Copy link. Here we go. Let's go. Add the link to the IG. I'm doing this all live for you guys. This is how I really do it. Paste. Join live with 3 exclamation marks, guys. And actually, this should all be all caps. All right, done. Ooh, you know, we can also tag at Dope Chief Studios. Boom. All right. So anyways, we're still live. We're still here. We're still going. Where do I want to put this? Help. Anyways, all right. So what else? What are some things I've learned in the past year? Ooh, good question, myself. What are some things that I've learned in the past year? What are some things that I've learned in the past year? Okay, one thing that I've learned for sure is you want to manage, and I actually talked a little bit about this in my last year's review, but you want to manage how intense your consistency is. This is something that I've been trying to figure out when it comes to just like personal life, but also just like, when it comes to the podcast, right? In the last year's review, I mentioned that I was recording an episode, one episode every single day. And while they were really short episodes, like 20 minutes or something, the fact that I was doing them every day, it really increased the intensity of that consistency, right? So after 30 days, like I was like exhausted because it's like every day, boom, 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 set up, boom, 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 tear down, upload, create, all this stuff. So now what I've tried to do is try to be consistent on a different scale, right? So maybe it's not I record an episode every day, but at least I'm trying to upload an episode on a weekly, basis, right? Every Thursday, which is kind of what I've been doing. So that's one thing I've learned is just to manage the consistency, and you want to scale it to what works best for you, right? If you're able to do 30, episodes a month, and you do that for 5 months, I mean, however long you can do it, like, good on you. But for me, because I'm trying to do this for as long as I can, I kind of had to scale back the intensity of the consistency, right? So not every day, but once a week. And what's another thing that I've learned? Well, first let me write that down. Scale my consistency. What's another thing that I've learned? Another thing that I've learned. Okay, another thing that I've learned is that more people are watching than you think, right? So, I've done a few episodes, well, I've done a bunch of episodes, but, sometimes you might get an episode that you think no one listens to, and then all of a sudden they come up to you and say, hey, I was listening to that episode. So more people are typically listening than what you would think, and as long as you stay consistent, you should be good. So that's another thing that I've learned, are listening. What ways do you think you've changed in the last year? Whether it be mindset, focus, or drive. Okay. So as I was saying, in terms of mindset, right? I'm not trying to brute force, success by trying to do, like I said, 30 episodes a month, right? Because that's just too much. You'll burn yourself out, depending on how you do the episodes. If you do 31-minute episodes, that might be a little bit different story. But yeah, so just trying to focus on the consistency, right? But then, like I said, the intensity of the consistency, because I don't want to lose consistency over the fact that I was going too hard in the beginning, right? So just, take a step back, tranquilo, relax, take your time, slow and steady wins the race. And that's kind of the mindset that I've been on. Focus. Focus wise, still hasn't changed. I'm still focused on, making sure you guys can at least learn one thing per episode, like one thought of value. I think that's that's been my mission statement since the beginning. And so my focus has kind of still been the same. And I would also say that my drive has still been the same while I'm trying to, get more guests on and have maybe longer conversations. Yeah, I don't think my drive has changed too much. But I will put that, you know, the consistency mindset has changed a little bit. Because before I used to only think that every day, right? Or at least, 30 days in a row was more consistent than once a week for 30 weeks. You know what I mean? Even though they're both their own forms of consistency. So I used to see one as consistent and one as inconsistent. But if you can keep doing it once a week, rather than doing 30 days and then you take 5 months off or whatever it may be because you're just so burnt out, I would say that's actually less consistent than doing it once a week. So I would say my consistency outlook has changed. If you could tell yourself, if you right now could tell yourself at the start of last year one thing, what would it be? If I could tell myself one thing at the start of last year, okay. Here's one thing that I would tell myself last year in hopes that I would do it this year. So now I'm telling myself this now in hopes that for next year, the seed has already been planted and I'm kind of harvesting my apple tree or whatever you want to call it. So one thing that I would tell myself now is focus more on, like, yes, the creation is important, right? So you do want to be creating on a consistent basis. But not only do you want to be creating on a consistent basis, you want to be promoting on a consistent basis, right? So you want to be promoting your episodes. If you have a new episode dropping, like, I want to, tell myself, cut more clips. Don't just cut one clip per episode. Like, that's not enough. You gotta, I have this thing written down on the whiteboard at my spot, but it's like, 80% of the time you should be promoting and 20% of the time you should be creating, right? Because you want to promote the things and you want people to come to what you're creating. But if you're not promoting it and you're creating, no one's going to know until you do some sort of promo and people start to find out. So the more promo you do, the more people will then in turn come to the things that you're creating. And if it's good quality stuff, then they'll stick around. But you do have to promote, and that's something that I said I actively wasn't doing last year because I went back and listened to my first review, so I wasn't actually promoting anything. So yeah, I would say that's what I would tell myself. Promote my what is it? My platform, my podcast. Just promote. All right. So now another thing that I wanted to do, right? Because those are just a few questions that I have, but I also wanted to go over the insights as well. Now I won't be able to go over the full year, but actually I'll check. But I do want to go over my insights over the past, however, I think like 90 days or whatever, and just see what are some things that have been working and some things that have not been working. Hey explorers, Dante here. Just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below if you would like to support. You could support the Patreon for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. So if you like to support the message, the platform, the page, go ahead and click the description below. Back to the episode. All right. So let's do it. Let's start with the Patreon, because the Patreon is, I think the Patreon is going to be my main. I mean, it's been my main focus, but it hasn't really been my main focus, right? I think I've been focusing more on the Instagram, but I want to promote the Patreon more, right? Once I promote the Patreon more, I'll be able to do this more often and more freely. So let's go over the Patreon analytics, which, haven't really changed in the last year, which is kind of, it's kind of motivating. You know what I mean? It's kind of motivating. So let's go. In the past year. Yep. So in the past year, not much has changed in terms of membership. So it's still the same. I'm still earning the same. However, I have posted a lot more. So I've posted more. Does it say how many posts I've done? I don't know how many posts, but it's been quite a bit. Yeah, I can't really count how many posts I've done, or at least it's not telling me. Can I go to insights? Either way. So I think so we'll do the Patreon review and goals. Okay, so review, same amount of patrons, which, like I said, is very motivating. We got to up the patronage, guys. We got to promote the Patreon more. Posts have been going well. So I'm actually pretty proud of me filling up the Patreon with good content so far. Like I said, I've got a nice, decent library on there of just behind the scenes stuff and episodes that maybe haven't been released yet. So if you want to go check those out, make sure you guys go check the Patreon. Goals, I would say up patronage. Increase amount of patrons. Oopsies. Is this still going? Please tell me it's still going. Okay, sweet. So yeah, increase the amount of patrons. That's my only goal for the Patreon. Just increase the amount of people that are actually paying per month. Next we have is Pinterest. So Pinterest has actually been very interesting because it's been my most recent addition to my, I don't even know how to describe it, my strategy, I guess. And it's been pretty interesting. You get a lot of traffic on Pinterest, right? Let's see. Over the last 90 days on Pinterest alone, I have 78,000 impressions on Pinterest, right? Across all the pins, all my posts. 78,000 impressions, 5,000 engagements, total audience is 62,000, and total engaged audience was 4,000. So that's been pretty good. Now, in terms of all those people, why does this always happen? Okay, we got to go back to here. Now, one of the things that you can do on Pinterest is you can have people specifically you can have them click a link, which will then take them off Pinterest to like a Patreon or something like that. Right. So, this is also very, motivating, because out of the 78,000 impressions that I got over like all the pins that I did, I only got 25 outbound clicks. So, I mean, it's not a very good conversion rate. But once again, this is why we do a review. We need to review what works, what doesn't work, and then adjust. So we got, like I said, 25 outbound clicks, but our impressions was really high. Saves was relatively high as well. Total saves, 383. So yeah, we did pretty good there. Aside from the conversion rate. Now I have to think, do I want people to be converted to the Patreon, the Instagram, the Instagram, or the YouTube? Or should I just do all three? Which, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, it makes way more sense. Why not just do 3 separate posts that would then take you to each different one? That might be something to try. All right, over to Anchor. Anchor is what I've been using to upload my episodes to Spotify. So make sure you go check out the Spotify. Make sure you leave a 5-star review if you've learned something of value. So yeah, all time on Spotify, we have 30 plays, which is pretty good, yeah, 30 plays total. We've got 79% male audience, 20% female audience. 80% of the people are coming from Canada, 17% from United States, and 3% from Algeria. Who would have thought? What's been my most popular episode? I would say, aside from the introduction one, streamlining the process with 𝁟There, and Instagram Live with Ruth Alexandra. Those are both my top played episodes. So yeah, there's the Anchor review. Let's head over to the YouTube. The YouTube has also been a bit of an experiment, but it's been going pretty well. Channel analytics. All right. Let's go to see more. What do we want? The last 365 days. So, in the last 365 days, in total we've had 39 impressions. So about half of much as Pinterest. In total, in the last year, we've gotten 35 subscribers, and we've accrued or accumulated a whopping 155 watch hours total. So that's been pretty good. Where does our traffic come from? Majority of it comes from the shorts feed. So, I mean, that's kind of expected. What else? Geography, cities? No. Yeah, I guess that's mainly it. Like, not too much on the YouTube. I mean, we've been, putting the videos up there. We've been doing the shorts. Like I said, 39,000 impressions, which is pretty good. But we gotta up the impression rate. We have to up the conversion rate. So we have to get people that have that initial impression and then convert them over to watching the page or listening to an episode. So I'd say that for the YouTube. But aside from that, I would say it's been pretty good. It's been fun. We just did an episode with Art, who's also a YouTuber here. He's been doing some stuff for 𝁟There Studios here. So we had a nice little conversation, but yeah, it's been pretty good, been steady, I guess consistent growth. I mean, we're at 45 subscribers total, which I should write down. YouTube. 45 subs. Do I have any goals? Yes, the goal. Okay. So for YouTube, I do have a goal to get monetized. Right? So we want to get monetized on our page. But how do we get monetized? What are the goals? That's the real question. How do we get monetized? How do we get money from YouTube? Let's check it out. Let's go to the monetization. So we need. All right, let's make this official. Let's write it down in the goals. So we need 1,000 subscribers. Subs. Actually, the goal should be monetization, right? And then to become monetized, we need 1,000 subs we need 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours within 1 year. 4,000 watch hours in 1 year. And then there was one more for shorts. You need 10 million shorts view. Jeez. 10 million shorts view. Shorts views in 90 days. All right. Do I have any goals for Patreon aside from Patreon? No, just increase the amount of patrons and promote more. Yeah. My goal would be to promote more and convert to patrons. All right. All right, so that's YouTube. Lastly, we got Instagram. So we got Instagram or Facebook Meta, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. All right, so we'll do last 90 days for Instagram. Last 90 days, we're up. Wow, we got 179. Oh, actually, what are we at total? Let's do total first. So in total, we're at 407 followers on Instagram. 407 followers on Instagram. $407 followers. Do we have a goal? I would say just 1,000. Let's go for 1,000 on everything, bruh. Because you need 1,000 goals. 1K followers. Okay, so 1,000 followers on IG. How have those been doing? That's the real question. Instagram reach. So Instagram reach has the lowest amount of impressions at 13,000 in the last 90 days. 919 profile visits the last 90 days. Audience, 76% men, 24% women. I do want to actually up the numbers on the women's side a little bit. I kind of want it to be maybe 30% women, 60% men. So we'll work on that. We got to have more women on the podcast, that's for sure. What else do we got? I think that's really it for this. Median, the average likes, I don't know. What else do we got? Audience. No, I think that's really it. So yeah, I think that covers the year 2 review, the year 3 look ahead. Let's just go over it, right? All right, so highlights. We got, we're working out here in 𝁟There Studio, episode 50. We did a live pod at 905 Fest. We had a lot more guests in studio. We did the IG Live episode. What are some things I've learned in the past year? We got to scale consistency, and more people are listening than what you think. What are ways you've changed in the last year, whether it be work-wise, spiritual mindset, focus, drive, consistency, outlook has changed a lot. Spiritually wise, I totally missed this. Spiritually, how have I changed? I don't think I've changed. I mean, I've definitely improved. So I would say any form of improvement is an improvement, spirituality. If I could tell myself, if you right now could tell yourself something at the start of, let me rewind. If you right now could tell yourself of the start of last year one thing, what would it be and why? Promote the platform. That's the main thing. Promote. The Patreon review, one patron. Very motivating. Goals for Patreon: promote more and convert to patrons, increase the amount of patrons. That's my main goal. Pinterest review. I think I have 45 followers on Pinterest. 46 followers on Pinterest. So I have more followers on Pinterest than I do on YouTube. 46 followers. Goals, I would say up outbound click rate. Oh, also for the Patreon, I'm going to be doing more. I want to do more reviews, right? So I'm thinking of maybe doing a monthly Patreon review. So, talking about the platform, but it'll specifically be for the patron. This is another, incentive to join the Patreon. But I want to review more often, right? And more consistently. What's going on? So I can know what to improve. So instead of waiting until next year to be like, oh, well, my goal is 1,000, but it takes me a year to review what that goal was. I want to actually do this more frequently, whether it be monthly, but if that's too much, maybe quarterly. Once again, you got to scale the consistency. But yeah, I think that's really it. Patreon review, increase patrons, Pinterest, up outbound click rate. YouTube, we're at 45 subs. The goal is monetization, as it should be. 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 watch hours in 1 year. Or 10 million shorts views. We can go for both, I guess. I wonder if shorts views accumulates with watch hours. We will see. Either way, I think that's it for this episode. Yeah, don't really got much else. I think that might be it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys enjoyed that episode, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and join the Patreon because I'm trying to promote it, get more people to join and be a part of it. We do book clubs and talks and all that fun stuff. So, make sure you guys join the Patreon. Leave a comment down below. How's your podcast doing? How have your reviews been? Do you guys review your pages, your Instagrams, your YouTubes, and all that? How often do you review it? I don't know. Yeah, I guess that. Until the next time, let's go ahead and play this outro music.
Further.
I'm sorry.
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.
What's up, explorers? Hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a reminder, once again, if you haven't already, go ahead and check the link in the description below to join our Patreon. There you'll find exclusive behind-the-scenes content that's not for the YouTube, just for the Patreon, just for those that want to go that next step further and support the page. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to see, if you have any topics. But topic is for the Patreon members only. So go ahead and check out the Patreon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Later. Peace.